Welcome back to episode 337 of the Bad Taste Video Podcast. I'm Mike. I'm here with my man Grizz, and we're about to make a wave in 2025. You like what I did there?
This fucking guy.
But we are back from our semi-holiday sabbatical, I guess you could say. We are.
It's been fun.
We're not exactly live on Tuesday night because yesterday was New Year's Eve. So happy New Year's, happy 2025. But before we get into anything, let's hit that intro. The Mummy's Dungeon. I have to say, I'm aware of Wave as a company. I am aware of the story. I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert in the films. I've not seen many of them. So this was an adventure.
I've been a Wave fan for a while. I've dug into quite a bit of their collection. Everything is available on their website, wavemovies.com. You can buy DVDs of every single one of their fucking releases they've ever done. I highly recommend doing so. In the past, I've mentioned Wave to you doing some of their films, and you've always kind of written it off as just like fetish porn videos and shit, man. And I got to tell you, I think that's the misconception that you've been led to believe about a lot of the Wave stuff. Yes, I will admit some of it does borderline softcore fetish porn. That is an element of some of their releases.
That's how they were able to fund,
for sure,
the company.
But in that, you also get movies like this, The Mummy's Dungeon. There's a bunch of these kind of like hidden gems in this stuff, dude, that I think it's worth definitely, Sorority Slaughter, Hayride Slaughter, Danger in Blue. Some of these kind of movies, man, I think that if you checked out, you'd be fucking obsessed with, man. Like, they're not the most detailed storylines of fucking shot on video movies ever, as you guys will see here in this movie. But they're so ridiculous. They're so low budget. The concepts are great. Like, Slaughter, Hayride Slaughter, dude, you'd fucking love that movie. It's about a Halloween fucking, hayride where people are fucking getting murdered off and someone's trying to solve it.
There you go.
It's right up your alley, dude.
Nice. Yeah, I always was under the impression, because like you hear the story of like, oh, you could send money in and they would make you a video like for what you wanted and all that stuff. So you would see a lot of stuff where it was like, oh, somebody breaks in through the window and ties somebody up with an electrical cord, and the girl's like on the floor like, like
there is an element of that for sure.
So like I never really dug in because I figured that's what everything was. And I do have a tolerance for really lacking of a story or whatever. But I was never really into that, like, the Japanese, like the pink films or whatever they call them.
For sure.
Like, it was never really my thing. So that's what I always expected. And this was a pleasant surprise for me. This was a first time watch. It's a kind of a long movie for what it is.
For what it is. Yeah,
it's very repetitive, but it's very entertaining. It reminds me of it reminds me of like Blood Feast, but done by
Dude.
like a bunch of people that didn't really know what they were doing. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, they
I
took
guess
the college courses and like dropped out halfway. You know, one of those types of things.
you know, it's funny you mentioned like Blood Feast, and I think of like obviously Blood Diner and stuff like that, and those are like two of like the big ones that jump out to me as far as like having this like Egyptian tie. Mummy movies in general, not a big market behind that, right? I mean, I can't really think of too many.
Yeah. So, obviously everybody knows like the Boris Karloff mummy.
That's the classic. That's the
This is a movie
classic,
that I
dude.
really was never into when I was younger, but when I watched it when I got, you know, a little bit older, it really kind of became a little bit more entertaining for me for some reason.
That's true for me about all the Universal stuff, man, and even a lot of the old Hammer films where it's as a kid, dude, I just, you know, this is fucking boring. I can't get my head around it.
The exposition
having
and all that.
having a different appreciation for movies and like the history of it now. I get a lot of fun out of, you know, watching like the Wolfman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Old Swamp Thing, dude, is fucking incredible.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
I just don't think it's like I don't think it's a subgenre that many people get into. Like there's Dawn of the Mummy. I've never seen this.
Early 80s. It's okay, dude. It's not something to write home about. It's a, you know, it's for 80s horror, it's a little bit of a sleeper.
I've never seen it. I've never had the opportunity. Maybe I'll try to see if it's online somewhere. I'll take a look. Yes, Silhouetted Animator, the Brendan Fraser mummy is fucking awesome.
Everybody knows those fucking things, man.
Yeah, but I really don't know of many, and usually they're pretty good. Like you'll have a mummy story in like Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Dark Side. You'll have like a mummy thing in there, but really, I guess there's only so much you could do. You know, you got like the Mummy and Monster Squad.
I mean, is the mummy really a terrifying thing anyways? Like, is it something that you can...
me. Like, it's like a
little bit. It's a zombie, right? I mean,
yeah,
in a
it's
way.
like an overpowered zombie that like can't be fucking killed.
Okay, so yeah, there is the thing about mummies having some sort of like power, like an Egyptian
supernatural power.
Power, I guess. I guess that's a... I guess I'm dying for that, like, over-the-top, ultra horror, mummy story that I've never had.
Now that I think about it, like, there's really no... So, like, vampire lore, like a werewolf lore, zombie lore, but, like, it's not much mummy shit. Yeah, like, what is, like, the definitive mummy stuff? How do you kill a mummy? Right? How do you... According to... There's a way in this movie to do it, but I don't know if that would work.
Is that lore? Like,
yeah, I've never heard that before.
Spoiler alert, we're gonna get into it here, but like, you come to find out the rivers of the Nile, the water of the Nile is the secret to killing a mummy. If that's true, I actually kind of like that. That's fucking...
Well, like over there, that's why you don't see no mummies attacking people anymore because they have access to it. But like,
that's just so common. Everyone's got Nile water.
I guess also like there's a finite amount of mummies out there. Where
that's the other thing too.
A zombie could be like anything. It could be anywhere. It could be anyone, living, undead, infected, whatever. A mummy's a mummy. You gotta be wrapped up. You gotta be desiccated.
Yeah. That's the thing. The mummy is just a mummy, dude. I think it's the wrappings that make it so like unalarming.
Well, here's something. Have you ever heard of like a South American mummy movie?
Oh, like an Aztecian mummy.
Yeah, right. Didn't they do that too?
I think they had something of that effect.
Right. I feel like, or is that only with the aliens, like the South American aliens?
They were mummified.
But I guess like you don't necessarily have to be wrapped to be mummified. Like
No, yeah, like the process of mummification. I think that's like. Is that even true with the Egyptians that they're fucking...
Yeah. Well, that was legit that they were doing that, pulling the stuff out through the nose, all that shit, filling you with frankincense and myrrh and all that.
Delicious.
But also,
roast me at 350 for a few hours.
But like also they would find like mummies in the desert that were just like the sand desiccated the body. It was preserved, it turns you almost to like a leather. So I guess there's all different kinds, but really I guess the scariest kind is the Egyptian mummy because it's still semi-mobile, still semi-intact. Generally, they're large for some reason. right?
They are
They're
usually
always,
pretty fucking big, which is kind of confusing because it's just a normal dude who was wrapped up in,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Also, like I think the lack of mobility on the mummy's part makes it a little less scary. You know, they usually are very fucking agile. You can get away from a mummy pretty easily.
Yeah, this one kind of is very lanky, very awkward, like a baby
Lumbering.
deer, right? Like a
Yeah, dude.
just taking its first steps across the ice. Chris, why don't you give a little synopsis?
All right, so we have a local photographer who's using his business to trick women to coming over and becoming sacrifices to help awaken the army of mummies that this man has in store for the world.
Very similar to Blood Feast, Blood Diner, sacrificing people for body parts to bring back some sort of Egyptian god or goddess or whatever. In this one, he's kind of like, I'm not going to say he's rogue, but like he's kind of like his own dude trying to make his own shit. He's not really serving anybody, right? He's trying to get these things to serve him.
Outlier. Yeah, he's a rogue. Fucking Ramsey is his name. Rogue Ramsey, I will call him from this point.
Dude, that's always the fucking name.
Always, dude. If you're dealing with an Egyptian dude, it's gotta be
Fuhad Ramsey. I don't know. I guess you didn't have the internet back then, so you had to use like the thesaurus. Not the thesaurus, like the dictionary or encyclopedia, whatever. Your out of date encyclopedia.
You remember those like big fucking white books in school that was like, I can't remember the name of them now, but they'd be like different topics. And they'd be all these pictures of fucking.
Yeah.
Those were the best.
I had a set of those, but they were old. So
I like that even better.
So like if I looked at it and like I was doing shit for school, it would be
wrong.
like it'd be fucking wrong. Yeah. It's like holy shit. It's like
oh, that's fucking great.
Yeah, well think about it, like how much has shit changed from like the 70s to the 90s, you know?
You're using old theory on everything.
Well think about this, man. Look at like Jurassic Park. Everyone was like, whoa, that's a crazy fucking good representation of dinosaurs. And now in 2025, like we know that that's not what they looked like. They had feathers. They were more colorful and all that stuff. Don't trust the encyclopedia.
Oh, dude, this dude like brought up some shit today that like blew my mind about hummingbirds. You know, like if you think about it, a hummingbird has way more in common with an insect than it does an actual bird. I feel like it's misclassified, man. I feel like it's actually an insect.
It's just moving fast as fuck, bro. That's all it is.
It's not about how fast it moves, dude. It's about the body structure. It's like food source. Like what other bird uses like a sugar nectar to survive? Only the fucking hummingbird does that. What other animals do that? Fucking insects, dude.
I don't know.
It doesn't have a beak. It's got a proboscis like a goddamn mosquito. It feels like a big fucking insect, dude. That's all I'm saying.
It's actually a mosquito moth hybrid.
It's hybrid. That's where I was getting with this. You just
did you know that birds don't exist?
No, they're fucking they're drones, bro.
I'm just fucking with you guys. But the Mummy's Dungeon, I want to say Mummy's Dungeon. I feel like I don't need the on the beginning of this movie, on the title of this.
Maybe it's not the. I don't know, but like
that's
Mummy's Dungeon.
On IMDb, and
but I've seen like the covers that say Mummy's Dungeon.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I've seen another cover that says the Mummy's Dungeon.
Do you think the cover of this film represents what you're getting in this movie?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's a little misleading. Now on wavemovies.com it is just listed as Mummy's Dungeon. There's no the. So we're going to go with Mummy's Dungeon. Okay. It's a scene from the movie. I don't know if it's a good portrayal of what to expect from it though.
It's dressed up quite a bit from what you're actually going to see when we start rolling these clips.
The color really pops on that cover compared to the actual movie.
Yeah. The movie has like a red hue, almost like if you see like a print of like an old film. That's kind of started like deteriorating. It turns that weird like reddish pink color. This you'll see when we have. Yeah, well, you'll like when I was loading the clips in, I was like, I could tell which ones are the movie and which ones are for Wide World of Metal just by the color,
based on the vibrancy of it.
Yeah. So it's really funny. Our main character, what is his name? Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey.
Oh, Ramses.
Yeah, well,
Ramses
either way,
Karras, played by Sal Longo. I
Yo,
really like this guy. He sounds like fucking Patton Oswalt to me.
yeah, dude, he does sound like Patton Oswalt. That's great.
And I couldn't like shake it the whole movie. Every time that's all I could picture, like him playing like some comic book store like nerd, like when he really overdoes like the fucking like nerdy accent. That's what this guy reminded me of.
Dude, let's get into this a little bit with the first sacrifice that opens up this movie here. This is basically a good idea of what you're gonna see continuously throughout the film.
This movie is literally like you think something is going to change, but it doesn't. It's
doesn't,
really
dude.
fucking hilarious. So he's got like this altar. He's wearing this fucking robe.
Set his candles up.
Dude, this is going to be for Halloween next year. I'm going to be this guy. Yeah, the fucking Ramses from the Mummy's
You don't
Dungeon.
recognize?
Yeah, he's got the knife too. Of course,
right,
that's like
yeah.
curved. Right, like he's got
That's how you know it's an Egyptian knife, dude. The blade is like a snake body. It's not straight, you know.
Everybody that gets sacrificed doesn't give up any sort of fight. They just accept it, and they're also like permanently knocked out. Like this guy's an anesthesiologist.
They all bleed.
Yeah. That's,
Okay. So if anybody else's father figure was super into like watching PBS home television shows for like such a thing as like This Old House or the fucking Yankee Workshop, will know who I'm talking about here. This motherfucker is 100% Norm Abram, and you cannot tell me that it is not this fucking guy, dude. It is 100%
the new Yankee Workshop.
the fucking Norm Abram from This Old House and shit, dude.
Maybe,
I saw this and I was like, holy fuck, is that him?
Maybe that's like his alter ego. His like acting name is Sal Longo. Like
He does like wave movies on the side when he's not doing public access shows.
Yeah, look, that's why he's got the tape measure right by his crotch. He's
he's like, dude,
DTF.
measure it out, baby.
The name Sal Longo reminds me of like when you see the alternate versions of the Beyond and stuff, and it has Lucio Fulci as Lewis Fuller. Like that's
Lewis
what that.
Fuller.
Yeah, that's what that
That's
reminds
the
me
best
of.
fucking name, dude.
But it's funny because like this dude is a piece of shit. He's a murderer, or at least he's he is the one doing all the killing technically. But he's not like an unlikable guy. You know what I mean? Like you think he's like he is a creep. Yeah, he's a creep. But I thought it was gonna be way worse, to be honest.
Nah, he's pretty respectful. Like he never like makes a move sexually on any of these girls.
He does
Like
he does peep.
He's a peeper for sure. He's but he never like touches them inappropriately or anything like that. Even when they're passed out.
Yeah, he tells the mummy to get away. Be like, stop.
Yeah, dude, like what are you doing? Like,
I thought that
so
was
like he is
interesting.
kind of likable in the sense that he's like he seems like just a normal photographer dude who's just caught up in this like world of bringing mummies back to life.
It's like he like visited 4chan and that was it. Like he just fucking went down the rabbit hole. I really like when he fucking does like the mummy ritual where he's like, dude. He's like, all right, I'm going to get this. I got this sacrificial blood. I got
It's time.
The water from the Nile. And he starts doing the thing. And I always love in these movies when somebody has to pour something in somebody's mouth because it never looks like fucking Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? It always looks fucking hilarious. So this casket that he has him in is fucking great
fucking
too.
huge. Dude, it's huge.
The plywood hinged fucking cover is great. So he's got like a chalice that, looks plastic.
He just pours it all over his face.
He's fucking waterboarding this guy in the costume.
But beware.
Yeah, he's literally just
Without
poured it in the
blood
mouth hole.
Sacrifice, the waters of the Nile will
It looks
destroy
like
you.
the water actually causes the mouth prosthetic to move.
Move a little bit.
Yeah. Now, I have to say, though, the mummy looks pretty fucking cool.
I love the mummy in this movie, dude. Like you mentioned, he's a tall, lanky motherfucker, as you'll see. But there's just something about like the way he moves and this facial prosthetic that does not move. The mouth does not open or close. It's like
he still has access to to use his tongue, which is
yeah, it's like a hole in the fucking
wait. We have a clip. So every time that they do this thing before the sacrifice, Mr. Ramses has to like cut the leg of the woman to get the blood out, right? To make the mixture.
So like, also basically what's happening, if you haven't figured this out yet, is that he invites every scene in this movie is him inviting a new woman over, taking pictures of her, asking her to change outfits, and then in that process, the mummy scares her and they faint, and then he locks them to this board.
Dude, the one.
Yo,
first of all, I didn't know. Like, did this mummy have some sort of like Dracula-esque power, where like his eyes were causing these people to faint like goats? Or
I thought it was just a really bad faint job, dude.
Well, every single woman just faints, just passes out in fear, I guess.
Yo, but who faints like this, dude? This is the wildest fucking faint on camera, I think.
He's just like, her eyes like sort of start rolling back, and she does like.
You think she's gonna go?
Thing.
You think she's gonna go? Oh,
yeah.
She's still going.
Yeah. You know, I love that there's like in these movies they never commit 100%. Like when somebody faints, like you drop. Like you saw in my bathroom, there was a hole in the wall from when I fainted in the bathroom, and I just something part of my body hit the fucking wall hard enough to dent it. Like, dude, these people. She was like up, like take a seat. Yeah, that's why. I don't know if this is like a mummy related thing or like is it out of fear? Because if it was out of fear that she started getting lightheaded, wouldn't she just sit down on the couch?
I feel like it's just very poorly acted, dude. Because like some of the other girls do it too, but like not as bad as this one does. Like this girl, she fucking hams it up, dude.
It reminds me of somebody that has never fainted or has never seen somebody actually faint.
Yeah, they've only seen like the idea of fainting on TV, the fucking and the falling out fucking thing.
Yeah, but this is how the dude always freaking ends up like getting the girls to bring them back into the mummy's dungeon.
Mummy scares them till they pass out, dude, and he locks them up.
There's one point, because here's another thing with these movies. You can't hurt anybody. Nobody could get hurt. So when somebody's getting picked up, put down, or whatever, you have to be really gentle, but still look like you're nefarious. You're a bad villain, whatever. Dude, when the mummy has to pick up the girl off the altar, and you could tell he's struggling because he doesn't want to drop her. He doesn't want to hit her head. He's trying, and he
can't pick her up. She's fucking heavy, bro, and he cannot get this girl off the table.
It's really hard to pick anybody up like dead weight off of a table like that. Like
there's multiple scenes where he's deadlifting these girls off of couches, off the ground, and like he struggles in most of them, but this is the one where he's like, this is fucking bad, dude.
Yeah, it must have been out of his like ROM, like his range of motion.
He's like, been deadlifting bitches all day. He was just tired out, dude.
Yeah, look, he's got to bend awkwardly for this one. That's why. Look, he's bent over. He's bending with his. He's lifting with his back.
It's all back here.
Yeah. Oh no, he's struggling. Don't drop
and once he gets her up, he's barely hanging on there, dude.
It's like
you
ever see like when somebody's carrying something and they start losing their grip, so they start using their thigh as like leverage, where you're just kind of trapping like the thing there, like a bag, like a giant.
He's 100% fucking thigh carrying that girl, dude.
Yeah,
100%.
and you could tell because she put her arm down. She's getting ready to drop. She's like, please. You know, as soon as they yelled cut, he just was like, oh.
Yeah, dude.
There's a couple instances of him doing that, of him being super, super gentle, like trying to. It's like, dude, you're an undead mummy, man. Just pick the person up
carefully, like going through doorways, like with the head and shit.
There was one point I thought he was gonna smack the girl's head. He makes a fast turn to the right, and like her head whips right in the doorway. I was like, oh. I hope they did that one take. I hope that didn't have to. But so now you saw the mummy in that clip. Man. Now let's show when the mummy starts. The mummy is the creep. The mummy is the creep in this.
Yeah, 100%.
The mummy starts licking the blood off the girl's leg, and it is absolutely unsettling what he does, to say the least.
It is good. Blood of the pharaohs
This kind of looks like the Hog's brother also. That's what he look. That's yeah. So she's got like a tiny
got the
cut on
blood.
the leg. Yeah, there it
He's
is.
like, yeah, that yummy blood.
Yeah, he starts doing the thing with the tongue through like the prosthetic mask. But he's licking the blood off the leg. There's no actual wound. There's just like
No,
a
it's
couple
so
drops of fake
fucking-
blood. Meanwhile, this guy was filling a chalice from it. Man, I don't know.
I cannot. This is so ridiculous.
I don't
Honestly.
know. I don't know what I was expecting. Honestly, I don't know what I was expecting when I watched this movie. But I somehow, like, I just couldn't stop watching.
It's the same thing over and over again, dude, for an hour and a half almost.
Hour and a half.
It's so fucking fun, dude.
Dude,
Just like watching this mummy, his body language, just like I feel like this guy was struggling so fucking hard throughout this movie to keep it together, dude. I am so endeared with this fucking film.
I really like when the dude's like, of course his plan is to go to Egypt.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
But the way he's talking to the mummy, like, get in your box, get in your little
dude.
box.
We're gonna go.
Yeah, we're gonna go. I really found this fucking funny.
To go to our ancient homeland, get all of your sleeping brothers, and bring them back here. Into
All your
box
sleeping
for the
brothers.
trip we will leave.
Get in your box for the trip, and we will leave.
Dude, this fucking coffin that they put him in is so fucking
it's
big,
a
though.
huge. It's like the coffin that they use for like the WWF.
Yeah, that's
Skip
the
matches.
Undertaker. That's the Kamala coffin they built
Yeah,
for fucking.
Mabel went into that. Fucking Viscera fell into that shit. That's the Yoko one. Oh, I like that. Wave films are hypnotic. True.
They are,
True.
dude. They definitely are. I like how you also said that your ex-girlfriend was terrified of your wave collection. That's so fucking funny.
I mean, they are like a wild.
If you
You
didn't
know.
like a bass, especially if you were to go through and somebody had like a bunch of wave VHS or a bunch of wave, DVDs out, and you just saw the covers, you'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with this person?"
Yeah, at least
for
like the
sure.
Yeah, it's very interesting material to say the least, especially when it comes to the covers of them, because as you could see, the cover of the Mummy's Dungeon, it looks sort of pornographic, even though it's
The rest of them are way worse. The rest, so, that's one of the softer ones of their collection.
I think we have actually a clip of the scene where they got the cover from of this one, right?
Yes, 100%. This is like the closest to like gore I think we get in this movie.
So we have a woman on the board, handcuffed, and the mummy bit her in the neck. Very vampire-ish, though,
Was vampire.
right? Like there's just like trickles of blood coming down. She's not really fighting at all. She just kind of like, all right, do it. Okay, then I'll start crying again. Is it just me, or does it look like there's saliva all over?
Oh yeah, he is like lubing that neck up, dude, for sure.
Oh, and she got the blood coming out of her mouth now too. But that's where they got the cover from. Definitely dressed up for the for that photo. I want to see the photos from when they were doing the fake photo shoots. That guy was definitely taking real pictures.
Dude, yeah, for sure.
That must be hilarious to see, because that's all
my
like
God.
who played those women, man? Like, where did they get actresses from?
I do feel like a lot of the Wave stuff, because this was all based out of New Jersey. That's where like Wave Productions was located. Being close to New York City, dude, I got a feeling there's a lot of like wannabe actresses looking for work, looking into classifieds at that time. I mean, mid 90s, early, late 80s time period. A lot of these stuff, these movies were made. They got to be just a lot of fucking girls looking to get into the industry, seeing an opportunity to fucking be in a movie. And, unfortunately, here they are years later in a fucking Waves film.
It seems like a lot of them are in other Wave movies.
Oh, yeah. There's like a lot of like really popular ones, man.
Who is this woman?
Like
Catherine?
Christy Clark.
Christy Clark
She's in a
was
lot
in
of them.
Nightmare 5.
Yeah, Tina Kraus. She's like in a fucking ton.
Sorry, Nightmare 2. Who's Angela Walsh? I need to know who that is now. Because that's how far you have come from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 to the Mummy's fucking dungeon.
Yeah, that's a good career fucking trajectory. What's this other girl's name that I see a lot? A girl named Debbie D. I'm sure you can get the idea what's going on with her based on the name. So.
Were these all based out of like New Jersey or something, right? Or
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these, as I said, like this is all New Jersey companies. So I'm thinking a lot of these were just like New York City girls looking for acting jobs,
just local people
answering classifieds. You know,
hey, you want to make another couple $100, or
here you go,
another tens of dollars.
Here's another $25. Let this mummy lick your leg for 5 minutes.
Yeah, like the fucking like a gift card to Fuddruckers or something. It's like, there you go. So, Chris, let's wrap up the Mummy's Dungeon.
Oh man,
we have a pretty long, wide world of metal today. We have a side plot here where one of the girl's twin sisters is very concerned over her disappearance. It's been weeks.
She's been gone,
right?
Now. Yeah.
The cops are involved. The
cop is actually his girlfriend goes to take the pictures, and he calls up his cop buddy. He's like, "You got to fucking run this name, Ramses so and so." And then all of a sudden, his girlfriend's over there. She's the one that's about to get sacrificed. Dude, this motherfucker breaks in and lays this line down on us.
Oh,
this is the line. This is the line of the movie, dude.
Yeah. He also looks like if me or you were a cop.
Okay, please, fuckers, what's going on here? Put it down. Put it down, buddy.
I am all powerful.
Yeah, and I'm a cop with a gun, and I said stop.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Put it down.
I like how I like how the mummy acts like it's human. And like it's like, all right, man. All right.
Chill out, bro. I'll put her down.
It's very anticlimactic. But this guy is pretty smart because he figures out right away, within a few seconds of fighting this mummy, that the Nile River water will kill him. And
close access to convenient.
He pours it all over him. And you can see at one point they tried to do like a smoke effect, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
But they just had somebody off screen blowing a cigarette.
It was a heavy cigar. They were just fucking...
for somebody that's about to he's got his hand up too. Like, get away from me. For somebody that's...
come on, bro. Don't get that shit out of me.
Killing a mummy.
Yeah, there's the smoke. It's steaming off of him a little bit.
He's not acting surprised at all.
No, he's like, I figured this would happen. These fucking mummies.
I figured I'd run into a mummy one of these days.
All the same, these mummies.
Yeah, but and then that's it. That's the end. Literally him picking up getting his girlfriend, getting another girl that's there, and then leaving.
Credits, baby.
And that's roll credits. But then they show the mummy again for a second. So I'd like to think that he came back.
Yeah, I do too. The mummy's never really dead. They show a little pile of ashes, but that's not a big deal,
Nah, they'll just wrap him back up. Just need a new bandage. Chris, the Mummy's Dungeon, man. I'm fucking shocked that I enjoyed this.
I thought you would, man. I really did. So
it's just so fucking strange. It's just a weird movie, right? That's the only way to.
I say right now, Hayride Slaughter. We're doing it this year for Halloween. It's on the fucking list. We're finally going to cover it this year. Now that I got you into doing a wave movie, we're fucking digging in a little bit.
Fuck yeah. But next Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though, on our YouTube page, yes, we're going back to normal, finally. We will be covering Dark Night of the Soul from 1998. A skeleton-faced death cultist recruits new members into this bizarre drug cult by indoctrinating them into his wild occult beliefs. I don't know. A satanic mind control film that is up there with the great oddities of the 1970s. This should be quite the ride. Neither of us have seen this. Did you skip through it a little bit?
Yeah, I skipped through. It's a Ron Atkinson movie. Ron Atkins, sorry. So if you're familiar with any of his work, you kind of will get the idea of what we're going to be getting into next week. It's definitely low budget, but it's it's a great premise, and it looks to be, you know, right up our alley. I think it's got a little bit more going on than, Mummy's Dungeon did. That's for sure.
This is the movie that he did right after Schizophreniac, the Whoremangler. So we'll see what the follow-up is like. And that's going to be next Tuesday night on our YouTube page, youtube.com/@badtastevideo-podcast. But Grizz, it's time that we head over to the wide world of metal. And now that 2024 is done, we could finally do our picks for some of our favorite bands / albums that we covered throughout the year of 2024.
Yes, sir.
We both picked 5.
Want to go back and forth? Number 5.
We'll just let them rip, man. Just where do you want to start? What do you got?
Well, my number 5 album of the year is a band, Phantom. I don't know if you remember this one, dude. This is a fucking super fun album. Transylvanian Nightmare. The song that I got off of this one that I chose was Raging Pyres.
I do remember this. I remember that fucking awesome
artwork, dude.
Yeah, with the Fulci. That's the
hand
Fulci zombie hand, from the UK release. The Zombie Flesh Eaters one. This album, I remember it being like a throwback type.
It's you know, black and roll, you know, it's, you know, black metal, rock and roll kind of mix up or whatever, but it sounds so nostalgic. It sounds like straight out of fucking 1986, man. I really, really dig this band a lot. So that's my number 5 for the year. Phantom, Transylvanian Nightmare, and that was Raging Pyres.
I guess my number 5, I guess I should get everything ready for this. I just did bands, so
I went hard, dude. I went in.
You did. But I could. This is all. It was easy for me to do this because I basically just went to my iTunes because I
just looked at ones, the ones that you liked.
So my number 5, I would say, is Sanguine Imperator. I Am Death.
Great. Fuck yeah, this was up there for me too.
Yeah,
man.
I thought this was a ripper. Another one with awesome artwork.
I was debating between this and Phantom as my number 5. Honestly,
Don't worry,
this was a choice.
There it is, baby. It's actually kind of hard to pick because, like, it's already filtered down by the time we like cover it.
For sure.
This shit's awesome. Yeah, baby.
I love that fucking band though, man. That shit is so good. There's been so many good releases this year. It was really honestly hard. I had to like keep like taking things off of my list, being like, oh, this one's a little bit better. You know, there's so many honorable mentions and shit. My number 4 album though, this band I just found this year and it fucking blew me away, dude. The band is called The Pigus. It's a self-titled album. The song that I chose is Aqua Genesis. Such a fucking original band, dude.
Ooh.
That's how good they are. I love that fucking logo of their name, too.
Better get my shit ready before it's my turn. I feel like throughout this series of doing Wide World of Metal, you have gotten into more of like thrash type music. I feel like you've kind of converted a little bit.
I've definitely have embraced the thrash crossover, you know, side of things. Most of my next 3 will obviously be where my heart lies, but you know, I've really, dude, especially the hardcore thing. Like, I've really come around to some like, you know, I think it all kind of started with me getting into, you know, fucking power
down.
Shit like that, dude. Yeah, Hatebreed, fucking Madball. But no, like bands like Power Trip really got me into that kind of thing. Started listening to a lot of Dead Heat and just kind of like went down this, you know, this road of like really getting into this crossover thing, dude. I love that 2-step fucking.
Yeah, there you go, man. Better late than never.
Weird,
better late than never. So my number 4 is going to be another, well, I guess not another one, a self-titled single, I guess you could say. Primal Horde. Primal Horde.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. This artwork I love.
Looks like you, bro. Yeah, this was one of my favorite things that we covered this year. Probably one
I
of
love the production on this too.
Yeah, one of the heavier albums for sure. That's like definitely best, maybe the best vocals at everybody.
This is like one of the heavier albums that we've covered, but like heavy in its own style. Like there's bands that are like harder as far as like the aggression level and like, you know, tempo and all that shit. But there is something about that band in particular. It's just like fucking aggressive,
Yeah.
like mean spirited fucking like death metal, dude. It fucking rules.
It could be like the production also.
It helps. That, like I said, the production on that album in particular is incredible. We're gonna get into some stuff here. My top three.
All right, here
This
we
shit's
go.
about to go real fucking hard. My number 3 band, another band I found this year that is absolutely cool as fuck. It's a one-man band. Covered a ton of those throughout the year, and over the past few years, it's kind of become like a new growing thing here. But this band is called Hemorrhoid. Crazy fucking name for a band. The album is called Raw Materials of Decay, song Sliced and Tucked.
Yeah, this is definitely a Grizz band.
The fucking groove coming out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This,
They need a
this
DJ.
is what's that?
They need a DJ.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. You know, who am I? But my number 3, of course, is going to our man. Of course, we gotta have him in the list here.
100%.
I want to say he comes out with multiple albums a year, or multiple.
I mean, if
releases.
not out, but definitely multiple releases as far as like singles, EPs, and stuff like that. The dude's a fucking workaholic.
And that's Acid Mass, of course. And this is Worship, the album. This is 2024 release, but we've covered them a couple times. Another
For
single man
Does it
band.
all.
Yeah, man. I love the artwork on this too. It's a very specific style of artwork.
I love that he sticks with the same artist. I believe if it's not the same artist, it's at least all like the exact same style. I'm almost positive it's the same
Yeah.
artist. But it looks so cohesive. Like I love when a band does that. Everything looks fucking so nice together. All the albums lined up. All the artwork is like fucking cohesive and like it's just so aesthetically pleasing to me, man. I dig that shit.
I agree. So, Grizz, we
All
got your top 2 that we could remember that we covered. Caveat. There may be things we forgot.
One of my all-time favorite bands, a band that I have grown to absolutely fucking be obsessed with over the past few years, and that is Fluids. If you've listened to our show, you know how much I fucking love this band. Their release this year, Reduced Capillaries, Reduced Capabilities. This album was so different than anything else they put out. It was just so heavy, straight to the fucking point. This song is called Grifted, and you'll get the idea right here, man. It's fucking awesome.
Shit's crazy.
This is some of their best work they've done.
Also, awesome fucking production, right? That like adds to like the whole package.
That's the one thing about Fluids I think that I've really gotten to love since I first found them was their production on everything they've done has been so fucking crisp. Everything pops so well. It's mixed perfectly that it's just like it's that I don't know. I guess they're brutal death, but they're also kind of slammy at some albums. They're kind of all over the place, to be honest with you. But man, they have nailed that like brutal death sound on Reduced Capabilities. It's fucking perfect.
So my number 2, a band that I ended up fucking I think it's a single guy also, again. But I ended up listening to every release that he has because I enjoyed it that much. And that is Massacred. And this was the album Human Extermination, which is a Resident Evil based album, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, this did it for you, dude. You were
yeah.
like into this for like a month straight, listening to nothing but.
Yeah. All his albums have like a different like theme to them. You'll see like there's Evil Dead shit. There's like Fulci stuff. Like one is House by the Cemetery looking and all that. But this one was fucking awesome. This is like mortician worship at its best.
Done so well. South American, right? Isn't this guy from South America?
I think we looked it up. I think he's from South America somewhere.
Yeah.
Certainly he wasn't local to us.
No. God damn it, dude. So good.
This shit's awesome, man.
I mean, talk about nailing the brutal death sound. I mean, the kings of brutal death, Mortician. Who better to fucking, model your sound after?
Exactly.
My hat's off to him.
Exactly. So
all
there
right.
is number one.
Number one. This is the best fucking new band that I have found in 2024. A band that I hope comes out with a million new fucking releases. The best vocals in death metal right now, in my opinion. I guess death grind crossover, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Posthumous regurgitation, the coroner's guide to the cadaveric cuisine. This song, Tomophobia. This fucking dude, this is insanely good.
Also, awesome artwork.
That vocal delivery.
It's got the groove, man.
Rippers on guitar. The low guttural comes in, dude. It's fucking perfect, dude. That first vocal's like pukey in a way, like just so like slimy sounding, and then you got that fucking good gurgle come. Oh, dude, this band is the best band of 2024 for me, hands down.
All right, so my number one is from a newer band that we covered.
Okay.
I hope we see more from this band. But I want to say that my number one would have to be the single from Zelensky.
Oh, shit.
Air Hammer Mutilation. If you're not aware, this is
God damn it.
from when Grizz and I both made our own slam songs. And I was extremely impressed with the artwork.
This might be the best thing I've ever made. I'm not going to lie with you. This might be...
Dude, this fit in with all
the
our
best thing
songs.
I've done.
This is awesome.
It does fit pretty well.
Yeah, this thing fucks, man.
I got to get back on it, dude. You're right. Get back on that horse.
Zelensky only has two singles out at the moment.
I gotta do a whole album, dude. I really do. I gotta do a whole fucking album.
But this is my number one, man, for real.
I fucking appreciate that.
I do want to revisit our songwriting competition. I think we are going to do that next month, possibly. Right?
Yes.
We maybe in February, we'll try to do a different. We were thinking maybe black metal, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna do a whole black metal month of February. All the movies we're gonna try to cover are gonna be kind of like, they're not gonna be like, oh, this is a black metal fucking soundtrack, but they're gonna give off that vibe. We're gonna look for things that maybe even do have some of that music to them and stuff.
The black metal essence or aura.
Yes.
We're not gonna watch what the hell was the one?
We already watched Cradle of Fear already. We're not gonna fucking cover it again.
Unfortunately, yeah. Maybe we'll see another Brian Paulin film in there. Maybe
I think that's 100% gonna happen. Nobody invokes the spirit quite like Brian does. But I think that we're gonna end that month with 2 tracks, one from Mike, one from myself, that are our original black metal songs.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. It's gonna be so interesting to see the different styles that both me and you approach this with, because I already know like we write such different styles of black metal riffs. It's gonna be so fucking cool to hear, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I start now, maybe I could, but I would give it a whirl to really try to do like a fucking like 90s Cradle of Filth type song.
Oh, I would love to put the organs and the
Yeah, do the Cradle of Filth fucking vocals. I could
love it.
I could sort of get those out. So we'll see.
I would love it.
Maybe I could do that. But yeah, look for that next month, next February. Well, not next February, this February when we do a black metal month. Maybe Grizz will paint his face again.
I will, 100%.
I don't know if I
great.
will. That was.
I loved washing that off after the show.
I felt like I had shit in my eyes the whole time. It
The
was
whole
terrible.
time, dude.
Yeah, I was sweating.
My face itched, and I couldn't fucking itch it, and I was just like, "Oh my fucking god!"
Yeah, fucking horrible. But yeah, that's gonna be in February. We have some good stuff coming to you this month. Also, you'll see some changes in the show. We're still putting this out as a podcast every Thursday, but you go watch us live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@badtastevideopodcast. So anything you hear, you will see. We have some other stuff that comes up that maybe you would miss if you were only listening to it. But also, if you want, you could go back and listen. And you could listen to it off of YouTube, I guess, also. But you could go back and watch the previous live stream. But we prefer you to come live and visit the chat. Right, Chris?
So yeah, on that note, dude, we've had a bunch of people commenting on some of our videos saying how like they're not able to make it because they have work obligations or whatever, but they love coming and checking it out after the fact. We appreciate the fuck out of you guys still coming to YouTube, watching along with us, checking out the clips. I feel like the show isn't the same unless you can actually see what we're seeing and like how ridiculous. Like, dude, like we could talk about Mummy's Dungeon all day, but unless you guys lay eyes on some of these fucking mummy clips, man, you don't know what you're missing because this shit is out of this world ridiculous.
Yeah. And like I said, for the billionth time, that's every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We did it a little bit differently this week because of the end of the holiday season, but now we're back to normal, firing on all cylinders, right? Like a fine Italian automobile. That's what you are.
Steam engine.
You're like a Lamborghini over there. But Grizz, is there anything else that you would like
Happy New Year's to everybody, man. Happy New Year's to the chat. William Blasco, Happy New Year's to you, brother.
Happy New Year.
We appreciate you guys spending a whole year with us. This is going to be technically the third year that we are going to be on YouTube because we started this YouTube in 2023. We've ran the whole fucking year of 2024, and we are ready to fucking really give you guys some cool shit this year. So we appreciate you hanging out.
Hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah. Chris, did you say where they can find you on the internet? Right, at Kane _.
No, they don't got to find me. You can find me on Instagram at Kane _enabler.
And you could. Oh, no.